Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We interrupt our regular opening to ask you a favor. Laura Gillot and the Gillot Home Team have supported The Experience since the beginning. Now we're asking you to support them. Let's grow their Facebook page to over 10,000 followers. We're very close, but we need your help. Open Facebook and search Gillot Home Team and follow them. Then click the 3 dots on their profile and invite your friends to follow them as well. Together, we can grow the Gillot Home Team to over 10,000 followers. Now we return you to our regular opening. Learn more about the Experience community at our website, local.theexperience.video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. The Experience is brought to you each week by these great sponsors. The Aspects of Aging weekly talk show with Christine A. Smith. Unscripted conversations with experts. Watch live or in replay at agingbetternetwork.com. Nancy Bakke and Best Entrepreneur Solutions, revealing the key ingredients to skyrocket business profits. Learn more online at bestentrepreneursolutions.com. Ironhead Roofing, veteran family owned and the most trusted roofing company in Oregon. Call 541-283-1298 and online at ironheadroofing.com. Extreme Graphics, not just your local print shop, vehicle wraps, signs, and apparel. Call 503-926-9727 and on the web, extremegraphics.com. And now let's get on with the show.
Ta-da! Here we are. Let's get on with the show. Welcome to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott, everybody. We are so thankful that you're here today, ready for an amazing Wednesday. Right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. Always a great time to hang out with you, Russ, every Monday for The Experience Local Believers in Business, and here for the flagship show, The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. Today we got a special guest, Matt Rouse, who we have known for a number of years. Matt and I have been able to do some projects together, and we actually met face-to-face for the first time in an event we scheduled and planned to attend an event down in Phoenix together, and that's been a few years.
Well, you know what? I'm excited to have Matt on for sure. And you know what? We are just having such a blessed time this morning, Scott, with technical issues. And I'm going to say right off the bat, we have a large lag between speaking. So I don't know what the sound issue is, but just thought I would pass that along right off the bat. And thankful for everybody that's here this morning. We are here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time or 9 a.m. Texas Standard Time. And we're here for your viewing and your listening pleasure. That's right. In fact, when we go live here at 7 a.m. or 9 a.m., whatever time it is for you, we are here and it can interact with you, which is an amazing, amazing thing because you can engage in the comments. And we love it when you do that. Please engage and say hi to us when you show up. And we are so thankful that you're here with us. Also, you can become part of our YouTube community. We would love for you to do that. Scott has set up an amazing thing called the local.theexperience.video. There it is. And we would love it if you would go to local.theexperience.video, become part of our YouTube page. If you want to skip that, you can go directly to theexperience.video, which takes you straight to our YouTube page. We would be so thankful for that. So we're here live, but it sits on LinkedIn and YouTube forever after we're done. So you can watch on replay on Facebook for 30 days. So you have all kinds of opportunities. In fact, wait, there's more. It also converts to audio podcast on Spotify. We would love to have you join in and be part of our Spotify community as well. So whatever you like to listen to or watch us on, please engage. We'd appreciate that. Scott, so glad to have you back.
Yeah, say collect all 4, right? Watch on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and listen on and subscribe to the podcast. So you're gonna want to hear what our guests have to say multiple times because you're gonna go, oh, I missed that the first time. I tell you what, Matt Rouse has got some amazing insights. He's written a number of books. I forget how many he's written now, but volumes 1 and 2 of Will AI Take My Job is something you definitely want to take a look at.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Scott, I'm just excited about this week ahead. Just want to remind everybody that's in my local area that I have a book signing coming up. Speaking of books, and I just, I'm super excited about that. I was going to show you this amazing graphic, but the amazing graphic is not right in front of me. So I'll have to show you that amazing graphic later. But this Saturday from 10 a.m. To 4 p.m. at Willamette Valley Christian Supply, I will be signing books. I'm super excited. My new book, Life Happens and Then You Choose. That's right. Life Happens and Then You Choose. Would love to have you show up. Excuse me. Would love to have you show up for that. And, I am just excited about the opportunity to do that. In fact, here you go. I knew I could bring this up while we were talking. There it is. Book signing at Willamette Valley Christian Supply in the Heritage Mall in Albany, Oregon. Love to have you swing by for that. Scott, what do you have going on?
Well, I tell you, it's just been a fun week. I've got a couple of different interviews that I've done. I did one yesterday with Stephanie Beatty, and she has been on television. She's been a sports broadcaster for ESPN. She's now working with Rogue Media Network here in Waco. We just had a great conversation over at McLean Stadium, overlooking the field. And I'm off to record with a man who is running for judge here. So Barrett Thomas, that's going to be a fun conversation. So just
Very
lots
cool.
of fun conversations, meeting people every day and getting ready for PodFest. And both Russ and I are going to be attending, and Mike Ashebrainer, the Redneck Connector, and I will both be speakers there. And Mike, Russ, and I get to room together in our little cabin over at the KOA. So there you go.
It's going to be exciting. Wow. This is definitely a Fleming morning.
Well, let's bring our guest in
go.
and let Matt do the talking.
Let's do that. That'll help us a lot. All right. He's taking a drink because Matt's having one of those mornings too. Let's all get water. Morning, Matt.
How are you guys doing?
Good to see
you. So glad to have you this morning, Matt. And it's been a while. So let's start off with the basics. For those that don't know Matt Rouse, who the heck is Matt Rouse? What are you up to?
So I'm Matt Rouse. I am an author. I run 2 marketing agencies, Hook Digital Marketing in the United States, as well as Hook Digital Marketing Canada. And I'm also co-founder of a startup called SMB Autopilot, where we have an AI system that helps market local businesses or businesses with a service area with the help of people. So instead of it being an all AI system or an all people system, we call it a AI plus human marketing system. So it's interesting. It works great. And, we're heavily involved in AI, and I'm happy to answer, any questions that you guys have. And we can talk about predictions, where AI is at now, any of the things that you guys think your listeners want to know.
Well, let's go right into these books that you've written. Will AI Take My Job? Volume 1, Volume 2, and what did you do to research those?
So the reason that I wrote Will AI Take My Job is that when ChatGPT came out, our company was already working pretty heavily with data analysis tools, which were some of the earlier AI tools, as well as, some image generation tools that had come out before ChatGPT. And we looked at ChatGPT and we started using it. And I started extrapolating out, what does this mean, right? So if we take any kind of digital technology that's going to increase at, generally speaking, an exponential rate, that means it's mediocre at writing when it came out, right? That means the next year it's going to be okay at writing, and the next year it's going to be good at it, and the next year it's going to be great at it. And at that time, about half of our business was writing. So I said, if we don't pivot, we got 5 years until we're out of business, right?
Mm.
Or at least half of our business disappears. So we started changing what our service offerings were for our clients, the types of marketing that we help people with. And also, as I was talking to people in our industry and, small business owners, and, we have some clients that are in manufacturing and stuff like that. And we talked to them, and no one seemed to have any idea what was coming. Everybody was like, oh, that's a neat magic trick that this computer thing does, right? And then they got all their friends and stuff telling them, well, AI doesn't write that well, so who cares? And I'm like, that's not really how this stuff works, right? What happens is, you hear you're a taxi company and you hear about somebody's putting their kid in a car with a stranger in, Los Angeles or somewhere. And you're like, who cares? Nobody's going to do that here. And 2 years later, rideshare comes to town and your taxi company's out of business. So we need to be forward looking with the technology, and we need to predict to the best of our ability where that technology is going to lead and what that means for our work or our business or our job or our organization. So anyways, well, I was going to say to kind of circle back around to how did we research it? A lot of the research is hands-on use of tools, and a lot of those tools are like the beta versions of those tools. So it's what's the next one that's coming out, and we're already using it. And then also researching how people are using it in their different industries and what tools are in development for those industries. And then we match that with survey data, consultant surveys, and some actual papers and stuff from universities, and interviews with people in the industry on both sides of the coin, for and against AI. So that's kind of a generalization of how the research is done.
Well, I'm excited about your books, and we're going to make sure and get that information in the comments and in the show notes so people can look for that. That's all available on Amazon, right, Matt?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. And obviously I'm all about books right now, having just released my latest book, Life Happens and Then You Choose. So super excited about this, but also I love AI, and I'm learning more and more all the time. In fact, with my whole book process, I learned how I could use it for research, how I could use it for grammar and spelling, editing, and things that I could do. A lot of great opportunities there, but AI has really burst onto the scene, and people are starting to realize quickly you are ahead of the game. People are starting to realize what you just said, that if they don't get on top of things, they're going to be left behind. People that really right now are in this spot where they know they need AI, but they're lost. How can you help them?
So I think the first step is seeing where things are at now. And you're not going to get a very good kind of idea of where things are at now from kind of the news media hype cycle, because everything is overblown and everybody's taking whatever the most extreme thing someone said and then they're just repeating it. Like having someone say AI is dumb and it can't do anything and it's not human and it's not creative and it's crap, but then also in the same breath saying AI is going to kill everyone is not very helpful, right? Because that has nothing to do with functionality, what tools can or can't do, what they are good at and not good at, as well as a lot of people focus on, things that may not really matter that much to their situation. Like I think somebody saying, I don't want to use AI because Elon Musk's data center runs on diesel fuel and burns a lot of water, it's not really a good way to identify what's going to happen to the future of your position at work. Right. So it's a really good idea to kind of unbury your head from the sand if that's the case. Right. And just say, look, I want to find out what generally is happening in different industries. And I think if you take a look at, this is the first, will AI take my job? Right. And this is, will AI take my job too? It's literally twice as long. And the reason is we've doubled the amount of research that's in the book and the amount of industries that we cover. And there's also overview chapters, and there's also a little bit about some stuff that might surprise people, but I think are good considerations, like misuse of AI. What things are actually going to go wrong versus, someone just saying some supercomputer someday in the future might kill everyone, right? And also, we have a little bit about, people using AI as, counselors and for, partnership and romantic relationships and things like that, that people should be aware of is a thing that can happen, right? So we want to cover all the bases. And the only problem is if you cover everything as in depth as you can, your book could be 1,000 pages long. So you got to kind of keep it down to the important bits.
Yeah, I think that was Dan Aykroyd had said that about the Blues Brothers, that the original script was about 5 movies worth, right, and they had to cut that down. But Matt, these are not the only books that you've written. You have written quite a number of books, but and a lot of them are business books. Mm-hmm. But you've also gone into the fiction world. I think yes. Specifically science fiction. So not only are you using AI to benefit your business and your clients, but you've explored some different things. Tell us about your fiction world.
So I've always loved science fiction writing and reading science fiction, sci-fi movies and stuff like that. But I think doing the research for the books and using AI kind of hands-on has given me a window into near future of AI. I really like exploring the idea of AGI, which is the Advanced General Intelligence, which people have different definitions for, but arguably is a AI system that is measurably better at every task that we can measure than humans are. And that would be considered an advanced general intelligence. And so I like exploring that topic. And there's something really interesting in science fiction in that most science fiction authors have known that artificial intelligence is a thing because it's been around as, something that's been studied for, more than 50 years. But there's always kind of a throwaway line in like a movie or a show or something where they're like, well, yeah, that's when we got rid of all the robots, and then they just go on with the story as if there's no robots in the future, right? Mm-hmm. Or there was a robot war, or remember the AI wars of 2050 or whatever, and then they just don't talk about it, and then there's no AI, right? I like to explore the opposite. I like to have the AI AGI part be relatively near in time frame. Generally, my stories and books take place in the 2030 to 2050 kind of range. So we're talking, soon. And I think that's an interesting place to explore, like, what would the world be like if it was the way it is now, but we just extrapolate out what's going to happen with artificial intelligence. So a good example is I have a story that's in an anthology by Amazing Tales, and it's called Tales of Galactic Pest Control. And my story is called Agenda Item B Pest Control. And essentially it is about a world that is controlled by autonomous robots in the future, and the pests are the humans. And so it's kind of flips the script on pest control.
I like it. It reminds me of one of the original Star Trek episodes with the actor who played Lurch in Addams Family, the original back in the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Where
I don't remember
where they had to eliminate the humans because they were the fallible part. And
right.
They wanted an infallible world.
The editor, or one of the 2 editors for Tales of Galactic Pest Control, wrote the Star Trek episode The Trouble with Tribbles.
Oh my goodness. That's a good roster to be a part of.
That's right. Yeah, I love science fiction writing. I've had a couple other stories published as well. But I'm working on a science fiction novel. I'm about, it's hard to say, about 2/3 finished. Depends how far I go with it. But again, it was, I just had to write Will AI Take My Job Too? Because so much had happened in the last, year and a half before I wrote the first one. And by the time this one came out, it was 2 years since I wrote the first one. So 2 years of more information and data. And let me tell you, probably the most surprising thing that I found that's happened in that short period of time. One of them is we've come up with what is essentially the Moore's Law of AI, right? And Moore's Law is computing power doubles every 18 months. And that has been fairly consistent since computers have existed. And it's still going on now. But the AI law is 7 months. So the abilities of your AI system double in power every 7 months. So
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's almost twice a year.
I had made a comment on one of your posts on LinkedIn as you were talking about AI, and I think I said something like, I woke up this morning and everything I knew about AI was wrong. That's
right. It's a new day. Well, Gemini 3 from Google came out 2 days ago, right? And Gemini 2.5, I think, only came out like 3 months ago. So they're just going. And I remember I was having a conversation with a guy. His company does websites for a specific industry niche. And I was like, how long do you think it's going to be before an AI system can basically do all the work that your company does, maybe minus, you meeting with the clients and stuff like that? And he goes, oh, well, we're at least, 3-4 generations away from that. I'm like, okay, well, that's 2 years. So basically you're saying your company is going to have no need for employees 2 years from now, or your employees are going to be, your company might be replaceable by an AI system. So you need to start thinking about that, right? What are the things that your company does that cannot be easily replicated by an AI system?
Well, the one thing that I have really found with AI is there's so many great advantages. If, like you said, Matt, we jump in, we get ahead of the game, and we start looking at how we can work with it instead of fighting against it, instead of being afraid of it all the time. And I think a lot of times, the fear factor comes up. Everybody's afraid of AI. They don't understand it. And there's so many things that can help us. And you know what? Humans are always going to be the number one. Everybody's going to always need humans to control everything that's happening, but it's going to do more and more of the mundane and of the processes in our businesses that we have to be on top of. And so I think that this is where I have found it to be of great advantage. And I think people need to do what you said and jump in now, get ahead of the game. How do people have a conversation with you and learn more about all of this besides reading your books? Because obviously that's amazing too.
Right. You can get a hold of me at MatthewRouse.com or on LinkedIn. I'm just Matt Rouse on LinkedIn. I'm the guy who posts about AI and marketing and chickens. So I'm pretty easy to find. And if you want a marketing company that will use as much AI to their advantage to your advantage as we could possibly get, then that would be Hook Digital Marketing. Or SMB Autopilot if you have a local business. We don't directly do AI consulting or anything like that. Like, we don't go into companies and say, this is how you use it, because we're so busy. We don't have time to do that. But, I'm willing to talk about it. If somebody wants to have a chat, get a hold of me through LinkedIn. Honestly, I think that there is, as you were saying, like, there's an advantage here, but not just for kind of the mundane tasks of business. There are a lot of advancements that have happened recently that if you can put the pieces together well, you can get some pretty amazing output. And I think an example of that, one of the things that people have a blind spot for right now, and I'll get to another one of those in a minute, but I think the biggest one is something called MCP, which is Model Context Protocol, which sounds fancy. But what it is a server system that has different actions programmed into it that are available to an AI system to use at their discretion. And the reason that you want this is you can tell your AI, hey, I want you to go through my email, find all the emails that I have from Russ, and find the one where it had the sponsorship for his show, and email him and ask him for updated pricing. And your system has access to that email MCP. So it logs into your email, goes through all your emails, finds all the ones from Russ, finds the one I'm talking about, opens up the one that sends email, sends you the email, and then reports back to me. So it's almost like having an AI agent without it having to be autonomous and constantly on. You can just have it do tasks. So another good example is we have a client who sells clothing that's customized with logos and stuff. So we'll say, I want you to generate a photo of a person talking to another person in a coffee shop, and we'll describe the people. But the lady on the left, we want you to put this photo of this shirt onto her, right? And so then it will generate the photo, and then it will take the step of using the fashion try-on AI and swap out the shirt and then give me the output. So I don't have to go through and do each step myself. It figures out what tools it needs to accomplish the job and gets the job done. And that's the difference between using something like a chatbot and using an app that has MCP enabled on it.
Yeah. I want to jump in real quick and say I found it a huge advantage to writing when I was writing my book. And you alluded to this before. It did a bunch of research for me. It would look up quotes for me. It would put, it would definitely take a look at what I wrote, and it would save me the act of a lot of what an editor would do. It's able to go through and do the spelling, check the punctuation, check all the things. And could I say it in a smoother way than I said it? Is there a way to make it more clear? Right. And it gives suggestions and it walks through everything. But the whole research thing and the whole coming together with the information just saves a ton of time. And I love the idea about, I'm thinking about the email thing you brought up, because a lot of times I'm trying to find old emails and trying to find information and all that. And that takes a lot of time to search through those things and do that. So that would be invaluable. I love that whole thing there. So I need to say, as we're getting to the point where I've got to be the responsible host here as we're winding down, you had a second point you wanted to say, Matt, and I want you to talk about that and then remind everybody again how they get in touch with you.
Sure. So I think the second blind spot that people have is robotics. And robotics combined with artificial intelligence is making what are called autonomous humanoid robots. These are the ones you see like walking around and dancing and stuff like that. But that's not the important part. The important part is they're not great now, but go back to the example we had with ChatGPT, right? It wasn't a very good writer at the start, and then it was going to be an okay writer, and then it's going to be a good writer, then it's going to be a great writer. And a couple of years from now, it'll be an exceptional writer. Same thing's going to happen with robots. So that robot that could barely do your laundry right now, 2 years from now, it's going to be able to do your laundry, everybody's laundry, clean the floor, clean the house, do your dishes, cook your meals, right? Because that's how fast the progress is going to happen as it doubles. When you think about how much the cost of writing and, just kind of simple, basic social media writing and other kind of tasks that people use ChatGPT to help them with, how much the cost has dropped on that. The cost of labor is also going to drop as robots come out. So you want to think about what in your workplace or your industry is going to be affected by these changes, as well as what things can you take advantage of? Where can you reposition your people, or what kind of higher value tasks can your employees or yourself be doing when you hand off some of the arduous tasks to an AI system? And I should mention also, if you do want to get a hold of me, LinkedIn is definitely the best way, or you can go to MatthewRouse.com.
Yes,
well, Matthew,
yes,
this has been fabulous talking to you today, and I'll let Russ close us out.
Yeah, I was going to say all of that information, everybody, for Matt and how to get in touch with him, including his books, is in the comments and the show notes. Super simple to get to. In fact, here it is on the screen as well. And it is all clickable. So you click directly on it, go to Matt. He is a wealth of knowledge, so much value. And I appreciate you, Matt. I appreciate everybody reaching out to him today. And what a blessing you are to us, Matt. We're going to wrap things up, say goodbye to you here on screen. But if you'd hang tight for a minute in the green room, we'll be right there.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thanks,
Good
Matt.
to see you.
Wow, I tell you, what a blessing. I tell you, Matt is he makes me think every time. He reminds me of you, Scott. He's always got my mind going 100 miles an hour.
He's got just a ton of stuff going on. I love that he's writing the fiction books as well as the nonfiction. We've done some projects together. The Business Builder Throwdown was a lot of fun. He's done a lot of research into YouTube as well, and done a lot of testing. And this is directly related to the marketing businesses that he runs. So definitely reach out to Matt if you have a business, if you have a company, US, Canada, that needs marketing assistance. Definitely reach out to Matt.
Right. And one thing that Matt put in there too, that we got to make sure we have on, and I think we probably have it on the screen, is hookedm.com for him, and putting that up as we are talking right now. And just really appreciate him. Want to make sure we get all of his information in the comments today and have that all happening. So with that, Scott, just want to remind everybody that we are here every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time or 9 a.m. Texas Standard Time for your viewing and listening pleasure. That's right. We go live then, but then it sits on LinkedIn and YouTube forever and Facebook for 30 days. But wait, there's more. Then after that, you can listen on Spotify. And if you don't have time to watch, we would love it if you'd listen. Please comment, like, no matter where your favorite listening or viewing place would be, and engage with us. We appreciate that. And make sure and engage with Matt today. Reach out to him. With that, Scott, you have any last minute? Let me say this too. Don't forget Saturday, book signing at 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Willamette Valley Christian Supply in Albany, Oregon. If you're in the area, please join us. We appreciate that. And we want to say thanks to all of our sponsors again, the Gillette Home Team, Ironhead Roofing, Nancy Bakke, and Christine Smith, Aspects of Aging. Don't forget, we can't do this without our amazing sponsors, and we can't do this without you. We're also listener supported. Scan the QR code, go to the link in the comments, and you can give today to help us continue this amazing, amazing adventure of coming to you every week. Right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. Just have fun with your book signing this weekend. And for people who are not in the area, go to Amazon and get Life Happens and Then You Choose. And while you have your cart open, add Matthew Rouse's books, especially the 2-book series, Will AI Take My Job? Volume 1, Volume 2, as well as his other books.
Make sure and get Matt's books. All the information is in the comments. My book, as far as Amazon, will also be in the comments. And coming up this Monday, Scott, you and I have an Amazon Live going. If people want to jump in on Amazon, and what time is that again?
That's going to be 4 o'clock Central Time, I believe.
4 o'clock Central. There you go. So that is 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 o'clock Central or Texas Standard Time. And looking forward to seeing y'all there. Until next week, have an amazing, amazing weekend. Enjoy
the experience.
There you go.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.